If you've been listening to the podcast for a while and thought, man, I would love to grab a drink and pick the brain of some of these guests I've been listening to, or maybe me as well, here's your shot. I'm putting on an event this April called Elevate. This is the third year doing this, and we're going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, where we're going to have the top agency owners really come together, share what's working, get real on what's not, and really help each other scale faster. So if you're ready to finally get out of the weeds and grow your agency the right way, I want you to join me and 50 other amazing 7 and 8 figure agencies at Elevate. You'll connect with people who've been there, leave with a real growth plan, and actually enjoy the process. Now, we only have a few tickets left, so make sure you go over to elevatemyagency.com to lock in your spot now. Go to elevatemyagency.com now. Hey, Elyse, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on. Tell us who you are, what you do.
So I am the president and founder of Elyse Marketing Group. We are a full-service food and franchise marketing agency.
Okay. How'd you get started? What made you pull the trigger? What inspired you to start the agency?
Yeah. So I had a 9-month-old baby and a job I didn't love. So the combination can sometimes force you to do some things you may not think that you would do.
What was the job? Was the job in the agency space?
No, it was in marketing. I've only ever done marketing in my career. It was for a publication in Philadelphia. We'll just leave that there.
Yeah, we don't want to bash them.
Yeah. So yeah, this was 11 years ago now. And I got to the point where I would, leave my child at daycare every day and then head to the city and go to a job that wasn't fulfilling. And so I was like, I got to do something different. I met with a mentor of mine. She was like throwing out all these jobs that, you could do this, you could do that. And I was like, I just want to start my own thing. I kind of shocked myself, to be honest. And she was like, go for it. And I'm like, I have a baby, I have a mortgage. I don't think I can. And she's like, go for it. So she became my first client and haven't really looked back since. So
yeah. What did you charge your first client?
Not as much as now I realize, right? It's funny the things that you learn.
500?
I think it was 1,000.
You doubled me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I was like, ooh, look at me. Right?
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, wow, I can't believe I did that for that. But you live and learn, right?
Yeah. What surprised you? You've been doing this for 11 years. What's been the biggest surprise?
That it gets harder at different points the longer you've been doing it.
Like, give us an example.
Well, we're more established now, which is great. And, we've made a name for ourselves. But as we're getting more established and we're getting more well-known, I want to bring in the best people possible. And just the headaches get bigger as the clients get bigger and trying to keep, the team happy, but also putting the right people in the right seats and keeping them happy. I'm obsessed with my team right now. They're fantastic, but it has been really hard work to find the right people to be in the right seats and to make sure that we're continuing to work for our clients the way that I want to be. When we were a lot smaller, we could spend a lot more attention. And now that we're getting larger, it's not that we don't spend as much attention. It's that we have to figure out how to, as we scale, just how to give the best service possible at a larger scale.
I've seen a lot of people, they go through a number of different stages, right? Like in the beginning, when we start, right, with your first client, it's fun. You're making $1,000, really? Like, you're going to give me $1,000, and that's a lot of money for me. And then you start hiring people, and then there's a whole nother complexity. Now you have to manage these people, and I always joke on the show, I'm the worst manager in the world, and it only took me 10 years to figure that out of running the agency. And then I started hiring people that were under me that I didn't have to manage. They were self-managing, but then they could manage the people that were not self-managing. And so there was like this no man's land I was in. I felt like anywhere from about 1.5 million in revenue to about 8 million, you're in no man's land. And you're like, why don't I go back to when it was easy?
Well, right. And it's funny because I think back of what I would tell myself when I was starting. And I think, I wouldn't even tell myself because it was where ignorance is bliss a little bit. I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I just did the best I could for clients. And it was exciting. Every new thing was exciting. And I do have to stop and tell myself sometimes to celebrate the wins a little more. I think I'm constantly in the mindset of we have to go and, do more and be better and whatever. And I have to stop sometimes and say, wait a second, this is awesome. We just crushed it for this client, or we just built this website that's unbelievable. And 11 years ago, I never would have even sort of thought that we could do it, but I have to make myself do that.
I'm curious, over the past 11 years, how have you, and I haven't primed you at all any of these questions because I make them up as I go.
Yeah.
How have you judged yourself over the years? Like, is it based on team size? Is it based on revenue? How do you judge if you guys are doing for where you're at now?
I think it's a lot of things. I mean, I think retention is a big deal.
For clients or employees?
Both, but I was really thinking more clients, that clients don't stay with you if they're not happy. We all know that, right? There's a million different agencies out there. So client retention is definitely something that I judge us on. The ones that we have clients that have been with us since the beginning, which is wild because so much has changed.
Are you still charging them $1,000?
We charge them a little more than that, but we give them way more. I mean, we have experts, we have the best experts now. So we do charge them a little more than we did initially, but definitely client retention. I think a little bit on revenue growth year over year for sure. The quality of our team, like I was just saying, our team is just so good. I'm so proud of them. So
that's good. Have you grown every year? Have you ever had a down year?
So shockingly, we've grown every year, including COVID, which sometimes I look back on that and think, how the heck did we do that? I think I just dug deep and made it happen. And I'm not really sure how. We had a lot of food clients because that's part of, what we do. And we pretty much lost them all for a period of time. They all came back eventually in some capacity, but not to use this word, everyone hates it, but we did pivot and we did a lot more B2B than we had in the past, just to use our skill sets, make sure I didn't lose the team. And we were up that year, not by as much as I had planned, but we've been up every single year, which is getting harder. But
well, I mean, what I tell people too is, especially when you've been in business for a while, a lot of times, and this was kind of the first time I've ever really asked anybody, like, how do you measure success? And I was just curious because I used to measure success back in the day when I ran the agency based on the number of employees I had, because I have a gift. I can figure out employees and I can figure out revenue. Right?
Yes, you can.
We proved that in the pre-show. And so that's how I measured success, is like, we have over 100 employees. Look at us. Then I started looking at, well, I'm going to measure success based on revenue. And then, after I got out of the business and I started helping businesses, I was like, revenue doesn't mean anything. Having a huge team doesn't mean anything anymore. It really comes down to kind of really two things of like, how happy am I in the business and how profitable is the business and how happy is the team? Because not every year, like I've always been fortunate up until last year. Last year was the first year we went, ever since 99, for my agency, for every business that was successful. There's a lot of businesses we've created on the side that just totally fucking sucked.
You live and learn.
And just died a horrible death, right? They've all grown. And then we've been doing this 11 years. Last year, we were down maybe 2 or 3%. This year, we'll probably be down a little bit too. And in the past, I would look at it and be like, man, we totally failed, right? But I'm like, no, we're having more fun than we've ever had. We're helping really amazing people. And I think it's just about reframing it a little bit, not just because we didn't hit the goal there, which last year, our goal wasn't even a revenue goal. Our goal was, how can we double everybody's EBITDA in the mastermind? And that was the whole goal.
Wow.
So I don't know. I was just thinking about that as I was making up questions.
I mean, it's a good question, right? You did not prime me. I came out with what I thought first, but I do think there's something to be said for your team's happiness too. This week, I don't have it here. I'll put them on really quickly. This week is Spirit Week in the agency, and today is dress in a costume day. So I borrowed this from my daughter before.
Nice.
Should see what we have a taco sitting over here, and we have all sorts of people. But it sounds funny, and I have a lawyer friend in the franchise industry who's always like, "Oh, all your TikToks and everything, you guys just have fun all day." And I'm like, "No, we work really, really hard." However, if they want to have a Spirit Week, we've had like wear your favorite concert t-shirt day. We had wear your favorite team. So yesterday, everybody except for one person was in an Eagles jersey, except for our poor one person who was in a, I almost said Patriots. That's not, Patrick Mahomes.
Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs jersey. So the poor girl, right? We're all in. But anyway, we work hard enough that if they want to have a Spirit Week this week and today's wear your costume, go for it. And all it does is just make it a kind of a more fun atmosphere. We all bond together. We laugh a little bit, and then we go back to work. So I think that is a good measurement. I didn't think of it like that, but the happiness of your employees is super important.
Who's in charge of that? Do you have someone on the team, or does that fall under you?
That is not me any longer. I do have someone on the team who is she's actually in charge of our social media. So she's the one who then will sometimes say, and it's not just a social media employee. We've done this before, and she wasn't the one in charge of it before, but it had been, I guess, like maybe 9 months since we've done it last. And so it felt right. She said, "Can we do this?" I said, "Great." She set the whole thing up, sent reminders to everybody. Some people get really into it. Some no, but everyone's participating in some level. So we're in office 4 days. So we're here.
Which days? I'm just curious.
Monday through Thursday. And then Friday, we all work from home.
Okay. A lot of work happening on Friday, I'm sure.
Listen, we all need I'm a mom of an 11 and an 8-year-old. I need to do the laundry too, right? And so for me, actually, I get more work done a lot of times not in the office than when I'm in the office, because I can just sit and concentrate and work on things that I've put off all week. Whereas we're in the office, people are constantly coming in, we're asking questions, we're all working really collaboratively, which is what I want. But I'll take the Friday at home, not just for laundry, to sit and really think, where are we going? What are we doing?
I could never have an office again. So I was the chief distractor. So I get bored really easy. And then I would just start going mess with people. Right. So I'm sure when I was out of the office, I think the team probably accomplished way more than when I was in the office trying to prank them or do something stupid, or like just be like, "Oh, let me review that design," or whatever it is.
Right. I don't prank them per se, but I do feel bad. Sitting directly outside of my office is our SEO marketing manager, who's brilliant. And you can hear through these walls, and so I'm constantly like, "Hey, Helen, da, 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 da. Hey, Helen." And I'm sure she wants to kill me. There's no way I'm permanently like, "Hey, look at this website. What are your thoughts on and she has stuff to do. So I would think they may be a little bit more productive when I'm not here too, because I'm permanently just asking questions and poking, but I'm not pranking though.
Oh, you should. That was the most fun that we had having an office.
Well, we're growing out of this office, so we're moving again, which is a whole other fun part of owning an agency. But it's,
If I had to do it again with the agency, I'd probably have and I know there's some people on the fence of, I need to have an office. Some people are like, no, totally virtual, and I think it really depends on where you live too, right? Like you're in Philly, so you're a big city. You have tons of really good workers in a congested area. If you live in Durango, Colorado, that's a little bit different. My talent pool is not that big anymore. And it's two different types of people. I think some people thrive in an office environment. I think some other people thrive in a virtual environment too.
Yeah, I think it's important that we're in office. And I tried really hard with a hire that I brought on in February of this year. And because I thought she'd be really great, she had lots of good franchise experience. And her not being here, first of all, I didn't think was fair. I try to be fair to all my employees. So to have one person who's not when we're all in didn't exactly fly. But also just the camaraderie that we're talking about, where we're all doing these things together, and kind of the way that we all move. It's a well choreographed dance. We all know how to work really well together. And I do believe that we are way more productive this way, especially because we're half of a design agency, right? So we're full service. So we have strategy and we have design. And it is so much easier to say to someone, hey, can we do something about this and look at the same screen? And it's not 15 emails back and forth. It's a quick conversation in the office and we keep moving. So I may be a little old school, but I feel I'm old school. I get it. I can own it.
Be like, make that logo bigger. Make that logo.
I'm not necessarily that, but you know what I mean. I mean, everything needs to look amazing and work amazingly. So, yeah.
Hi there, agency owners. Let me ask you, are you ready to scale your agency without increasing your overhead costs? If yes, then you need to know about E2M Solutions. Now, E2M is the number one most reliable white label partner for agencies. They specialize in web design, WordPress development, e-commerce, SEO, and content writing. They basically do all the heavy lifting, which frees you up to focus on growing your agency. Now, here's the best part. E2M is just not another vendor. With over 10 years of experience, their team of over 300 experts has a track record of delivering for more than 300 agencies. They're your strategic partner. They deliver on time every time, so you can focus on what you do best. Now, E2M's mission is simple: to help 500 agencies increase their revenue and profit margins with white label services that actually work. And to help you get started, they're offering a special deal, 10% off for the first 3 months, but act fast because it's only a limited time offer. So head over to e2msolutions.com/smartagency to check out their transparent and their flexible pricing. Trust me, if you're ready to grow without burning out, E2M is the partner you've been looking for. That's e2msolutions.com/smartagency. Go check them out and tell them Jason Swank sent you.
You've been doing 11 years. When did you start relinquishing kind of all the control? Because in the very beginning, we're doing everything and anything. Going back to what you were saying about the design, the sales, the operations, like we have our hands in everything. Mm-hmm. When did you start getting your hands out of the cookie jar?
Some may say I still have my hands a little too much in the cookie jar. I'm working on that, to be totally candid. I'm not saying make the logo bigger, like you said, but I am very tuned in. I want to make sure all of our clients are really taken care of. In our org chart, there are 3 people directly below me. And so they're the department heads. And it's a lot more of the 3 of them taking control of their department. So I don't know when per se this happened. And maybe a couple of years ago, there was only 2 people below me. It was design and strategy. So our digital marketing director oversees all of our strategy side and our creative lead oversees that side. Well, we brought in recently a good friend of mine who we had partnered with in the past who now handles our PR and content side. So I think just having them in place as, the next line, and then they have their teams under them, has helped me try to not be such a control freak and let them kind of run their departments a little bit more.
Yeah. What do you think they would tell you if you asked them? One of my favorite things, we just, a couple of weeks ago, we had our member only event. And I always love asking because it's in the fall. And I always have them ask their employees or the people that report to them, what do they want to have them stop, start, and continue doing? What would your team tell you to stop doing right now?
I would say they would probably tell me to stop being so loud. In general, I'm serious too. Like I was saying, we're growing out of this office and they can hear me a lot. And I get real excited with the wins and I get real like, if something's going on. So that probably doesn't help everyone when I'm constantly like, wow, look at this. And so I would say that's probably the stop. What was the other 2? Start and continue?
Yep. Start and continue.
Continue. I'll tell you this. I know this for sure because we've been interviewing. We have a couple positions open. And I decided this is really good when you're having a bad day in the agency because candidates always ask, what's your favorite part of working here? And I'll tell you, listening to my entire team go around and say it, I was like, okay, I'm doing something right. So I do know they love the way that every day is a little bit different. So that I can't control. That's something I can do. But we also have two different initiatives that we do that I know that they really like. One is on Fridays when we're remote on our Zoom calls, we do wins of the week. And it's just a nice way for team members to recognize other team members and what they've done and how they've contributed. And like I was saying, I'm not always the best at focusing on wins. I'm very much focused on how can we be better? How can we be stronger? And so when I implemented this, it forced me to start either writing down or remembering or thinking, we have to celebrate the wins. We do so many good things. And so it's not just about me recognizing, it's about the team recognizing each other. And so that's on Friday morning at the beginning of we have a daily team meeting. And so at the beginning of that, we do wins of the week. So I know they like that. Recently, I just started, it's called Elysium Advancement. And we're basically every other week teaching each other about either a new AI app or a new system or something else, because there is so much out there now that it is really impossible for us to be doing our job well for clients and learning at the same time. So we have about 15 to 30 minutes where one person will go deep, not obviously for 30 minutes, you can't go that deep, but they're the one who's the expert in that app or whatever it is. And then they teach us, and then we have it structured. So they tell us, what is it? How could it benefit Elysium? How could it benefit our clients? Do we recommend it? And that has been really helpful because, yeah, it's been really difficult to stay up to date otherwise.
I get so overwhelmed by we're in a bubble for AI right now. For anybody could put AI and get a ton of money, kind of like when the .com era was there. It was like, yeah, it's a .com. I'll give you money for grocery.com and all this kind of stuff. And I feel like everyone has an AI app, including me. Like I'm part of the bubble, but I really do feel like Ask Quick does actually help. But you like how I do that shameless plug?
I did. I thought it was very nicely. See, you shouldn't have even said anything about that. I was like, yeah. Good. I'm glad you
have
it.
I had to do the shameless plug, right? So, but because everybody knows, like shameless plug. Yeah. But like there's so much crap out there. It's just people put AI on it. So I really like how you have your team divide and conquer, because I do believe that your network within the company, your network outside the company, the people you surround yourself, that's your edge going forward. Because one person can't possibly know all this stuff. You got to kind of divide and conquer and really figure out how do we adapt, because everything changes so quick. You have to adapt, or you're going to be that .com company that doesn't make it.
Yeah. And I think too, even if the bubble bursts and some of these companies go away, at least we have familiarity, and there's going to be enough that are similar that we could quickly then adapt to whatever's still there. But it's a matter of just teaching ourselves as much as we can right now.
Exactly. I've always been big on creating custom GPTs on ChatGPT or creating custom gems in Gemini. And I've always told people, like, it's about training the models. But think about the process that you've trained the model and keeping all that somewhere else outside. Because what I realized when I started creating, because custom GPTs, when this episode goes live, could be complete shit. You got to kind of think about, well, how did I train it? What was all the data that I put in here?
Right.
Because when I started doing it first, I was like, oh, I can't export any of the stuff I uploaded. Like, I was like, that's sneaky ChatGPT. I'm going to call it bullshit on that. So I was like, I'm going to start figuring out, how did I train this to get this model, and then using other models to do it. So
exactly.
Awesome. Well, Elyse, this has all been great. Is there anything I did not ask you that you think would benefit the listeners listening in?
The one thing that I actually learned from you years ago when I used to watch your videos was how important it was to niche. And I just remember being petrified and thinking, I can't. Our clients are all over the place. This can't happen. I don't know what he's talking about. And then right after COVID, I just was like, all right, I guess I have to try it, because it wasn't, I read lots of articles too. And so I had been seeing it all over the place. And we finally put a stake in the ground around COVID, decided that we would use our expertise from doing so much food marketing and some franchise already, but to really be a franchise marketing agency. And to your credit, we still have clients that aren't in the franchise world and they still come to you.
Yep.
But we've gotten a lot of recognition, which I'm really proud of in the franchise world. And we've really made a name for ourselves there. And so, especially in franchising, it is a little bit different. There are some just differences in fran dev marketing than there are, and local store marketing, frankly. And so franchise systems are really smart, and they do not want an agency that does not understand how franchises work and what an FDD is and all the rest of that. And so we put a stake in the ground. And one of the things I hope you can tell from this interview is that I try to continuously learn, and so does my team. And so I got my CFE right away, my certified franchise executive. As soon as I made that decision, I took all the classes, and we really have leaned in heavily. We go to all the different IFA events and things like that. And it has absolutely been worth it. And I do feel proud of the fact that we are niched, and it did work. So, okay, Jason, you're right.
Well,
I think that's an important point.
Well, it takes people a while, right? Like you have to, like I always joke with people, you're at like a Vegas buffet. You got to try out everything and see what works and what doesn't work, what you like, what you don't like. And once you pick one, you still can take on work outside of it. It's just your marketing to that one. During COVID, there was a member, Alano. He's been in the mastermind forever. And he was like, right before COVID, he picked his niche. He was so excited about it. Trade shows. He's going after companies.
Oh, God.
And he, like, literally a week before everything shut down, he got on the call, because we always start off our mastermind calls with wins, kind of like how you do with your team, right? He's like, oh man, I'm so excited. I picked this niche. And then like the world just shut down. And I went to him, I was like, man, Alana, I was like, I've never told anybody this, but you might want to switch. And so they picked cybersecurity. They're crushing it now.
Wow, that's a great one. And that's so different from trade shows.
You're very different, right? Like, very, very different. But I felt so bad. I was like, after years of just like getting beaten down by all the members in us of like, you got to pick your niche, right? And they finally pick one. And it's trade shows right before COVID. I was like, oh
man, that's tough.
Yeah. So, but awesome. Well, Elyse, thanks so much for coming on the show. And for everyone listening, if you enjoyed this, make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast. We have a show coming out twice every week. And if you guys ever want to come meet us up, we always have tons of events. Go to elevatemyagency.com. The next one's going to be in Phoenix. And I think the next one's going to be in Nashville after that. So make sure you go to elevatemyagency.com. And until next time.